Hello and welcome to Jackrabbit Journal. We've got some wrestling stuff and some Zenner stuff coming up this week. The wrestling team heading into the conference championships, and Zenner coming out of the NFL Combine where he did very well. Basketball, meanwhile, is down to the final week of the regular season for the Jackrabbits. The women have two big games this week after picking up two big wins last week, starting with a relatively close victory at Omaha.
Yeah, the Omaha win was big. You know, they were coming off a hot streak where they played really well, beating good teams. They are really good defensively, better than people think at times. Their zone defense is tough to score against, and they're long inside, so they can block some shots and challenge things. You know, I thought we played really well. Defensively in the second half, we really locked them down. We actually played really well in the second half up until about the last 8 minutes of the game. I think we had about a 16-point lead, and we're making shots. We had some momentum. And then in the last 8 minutes, we just went ice cold. We couldn't make a basket. But they were great shots. They were exactly the right people taking the right shots. So it wasn't a disappointment. It just happened sometimes. But our defense, to its credit, was good enough to kind of weather that cold streak and not let Omaha get going on the other end.
Well, the Jacks only shoot at 32% for the game, but they grabbed 16 offensive rebounds and put up 15 more field goal attempts than Omaha.
More attempts is two areas. One, it's offensive rebounds. I think we had 11 offensive rebounds in the second half. First half, we weren't great on the glass, but second half, we were much better. And then our defense is just forcing a few turnovers. So if you're getting, 6, 7 more offensive rebounds and maybe 2 or 3 more forced turnovers, that can turn into 10 more possessions, 10 more shots in a hurry. So it's a combination of both of those things.
The Jacks do come away with 9 steals in the game. Megan Watashik scores 19 points. Omaha's Michaela Shaw had scored more than 30 in 2 of her last 4 games, but the Jacks limit her to 19, and they get a well-earned season sweep of Omaha, winning by 35 in Brookings and then by 11 in a very different kind of game on the road.
The defense was completely different. What they're doing offensively, completely different. They are riding Shaw. She's a great player. She scores inside, outside. She still had a nice game against us, but limited her touches in the first half. In the second half, she took a lot of shots, but at the same time, they were difficult shots. I thought we did a pretty good job defensively. But their zone is a tough one to score against. You know, it's a unique matchup zone. Nobody else plays it, so you really get ready in 2 days for one style. But I thought our offense handled it pretty well.
And then the showdown on Saturday, hosting South Dakota. The Coyotes had beaten the Jacks in Vermillion 5 weeks ago, but the Jacks avenged that defeat. Both teams make 23 shots in the game. Both make 4 three-pointers, but the Jacks make 10 more free throws to win it by 10.
It was back and forth kind of throughout. We had a little bit of a cushion, I think, going into halftime, about 7-point lead, and we're able to build on it a little bit in the second half. USD is really good offensively, as good as any offensive team in the league. They can score in a lot of different ways. Both teams didn't shoot it great from the three-point line. We're about even there. Both teams shot it really similarly from the field, but one difference was free throws. Down in Vermillion, they shot more free throws than we did, made more. Here, we were made more than they did. We also got some big second chance points when we needed them as well. So the game just came down to a few plays. Had we made a few more threes or a few more shots, we might have pushed that lead. Had they made a few more, they might have cut into it and maybe got it to be a tie game or in their favor.
USD cut a 10-point SDSU lead down to 4 with 8 minutes to play, but the Jacks hold them off and pull away to win it. Macy Miller records the first double-double of her freshman season with 16 points and 10 rebounds.
She's rebounding the ball really well. People don't realize just how complete she is. She's been one of our best rebounders here the last few games, and she can get to the offensive glass too. At 6 foot tall, she presents a big matchup problem for a lot of point guards. And she's taking advantage of that, not only by getting to the basket and scoring on smaller players, but also by getting to the glass, offensive and defensive boards. So I thought our defense was still a big part of that game. Held them to 67 points. That's a tough thing to do. They can score so many points so quickly. Probably one of the best teams in transition in our league right now. And we also kept them off the free throw line, which I think was an important part of our defensive plan as well.
And the defense has been very solid, by the way. The Jacks are the top team in the Summit League in defensive points per game in Summit League play. So the standings as they are right now, tack on 2 more wins for the Jacks. South Dakota State and USD and IUPUI and Western Illinois are all still technically in the running to win the regular season championship, and they all play each other this weekend, with the Jacks hosting Western Illinois on Thursday and then hosting IUPUI on Saturday.
I'm glad we're playing at home. You know, there's a lot of pressure on this last weekend for really all four teams, USD, South Dakota State, IUPUI, and Western Illinois. You know, we all play each other twice, and nothing is really decided right now. People could go from first to fourth, you know, I mean, you just don't know how it's going to go. We could go from chasing for a title to finishing in the middle of the pack on our side of it. It's just really going to be a wild finish.
That should be good. We'll hear more from AJ coming up later on the two games this weekend for the SDSU women. Up next, though, the Jackrabbit men squeak out a win on the road, and then they blow out Oral Roberts in the final home game of the regular season.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Billionato.com.
Welcome back to the Journal. The Jackrabbit men's basketball team is on the verge of at least sharing another Summit League regular season championship, but we're not even going to talk about it yet. Scott Nagy, not even thinking about it. Don't even ask. He is very pleased, though, to talk about the two latest wins, starting with what turned out to be a very close and a very important victory at Western Illinois.
We weren't great defensively, but we weren't terrible either. Particularly Covington was really good. I mean, he hit, when you go back and watch the film, the shots that he hit, scoring 31 points without making a free throw is really hard to do. Making 13 shots, and many of them contested. I think, you know, we weren't great, that's for sure, but we did rebound, our effort was good. And really we just won the game because we were good offensively. We shot the ball very well from three, and that won the game for us. And you know, certainly not how you want to win every game, relying on your offense, but if you have to win one on the road like that, then, you know, I think that you take it. And you know, we were able to almost treat it as a loss in terms of you know, what you said, a wake-up call. But you know, I think after going back and watching it too, I was less angry about our defense, and sometimes you just got to tip your cap and say, man, he had a great game, and he did. He kept them in it, and we were just fortunate enough to shoot the ball very well.
Well, the Jacks make 9 threes in the first half and a season-high 13 for the ball game. And then they stay hot on Saturday in a blowout of Oral Roberts. Two of the best players in the Summit League, Obi Amegano and Corey Bilberry, came into the game averaging 33 points per game between them. But the Jacks hold them to just 6 points total.
Every team is going to focus on those two guys. I mean, they're tremendous players, and I was watching them warm up before the game, just looking at them. I mean, they're tremendous bodies, both about 6'3", really good athletes, just look like bulls out there. And you know, I think our kids were really focused, number one, and I think number two, you know, and I always say this, that they were on the second game of a road trip, and that's just not easy. It's not easy to be on the road for 4 days and sleep in hotels and travel on buses and wait around all day to play and those kind of things.
But still, the Jacks D it up from the tip-off. The offense gets going after a slow start. The Jacks lead by 23 at the half and win another home game by 20+. The Jacks make 10 more three-pointers and have made 49 threes in the last 5 games.
It's amazing in the league. Our team is shooting over 41% from three as a team. I mean, yeah, I mean, and when you have a center like we do with Cody, number one, that's one of the reasons why we are shooting the ball well from three, is because there's so much focus inside. But we're at a point now where we kind of have people a little bit spread out because we are shooting the ball well, and I think that Cody benefits from that too.
Well, Cody Larson goes for 15 points and 6 rebounds in his final game at Frost Arena, capping off a tremendous 2-year run with the Rabbits.
I think physically, you know, in all the years that I've been here, he's you know, the most, I don't know what I would say, he's like a genetic freak, really. I mean, he's blown up all our weightlifting records. You know, he's unbelievable in the weight room. With a guy 6'9" to blow up your weight room records, that's not easy to do, but he is an unbelievable athlete. He's been great. You know, he's been an unbelievable student, straight A student since he's been here. Very intelligent young man. Not only in the classroom, but on the court. He's one of those guys we just have to tell once. He sees things around him, what's going on, has good suggestions. But he, you know, I think certainly under the circumstances that he came here, and everybody. So I don't want to say everybody, but so many people were concerned about, you know, some of the things that happened in the past. And, you know, I always say if we all had to be judged on our worst moments, you know, nobody would want to be judged. And, you know, unfortunately for some people, it's in public. and for other people it isn't. And so it's easy to throw stones, but he's been tremendous since he's been here, and I think it's been a win-win. I think it's been good for him, and it's certainly been good for us.
And so has the other Jackrabbit senior, Zach Horstman, the guy that his teammates call Grandpa.
He's a great guy. All the years that he's been here, I mean, his teammates have loved him, and he's a very unselfish guy. He's done whatever we've asked him to do. I think some of it's been unfortunate for him, because he has been very injury prone, and they're not serious injuries, but they're things that have caught up with him, particularly his back. And he spends a lot of time every day in the training room just getting himself prepared for practice. And he does move around, like I joke, like an old man, but on our team he is an old man. But it's, he just has been a very unselfish guy, a tremendous teammate, and just very proud of him for, not only just hanging in there, particularly with all the injuries, but just what a good guy he's been to his teammates, how much they love him.
Well, injuries did force Zach Horstman out of the starting lineup this year, and the kid who stepped in for him is coming up next. Freshman Reed Tellinghusen tells all in the Rapid Fire interview why is he a big fan of popcorn but not Chinese food.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Billionato.com.
Reed Tellinghusen will start his 18th game of the season this Saturday for the Jackrabbits. He has had a fine freshman season so far, and he is in the Rapid Fire interview this week with David Brown.
What is the worst way someone has pronounced your last name?
I'd say Reed Tellinghusen or something like that. I mean, I got some weird pronunciations in high school, but Tellinghusen's probably one of the worst ones. They always tend to stutter on it.
Do you correct them, or have you just accepted that people can't know how to pronounce your
I've
name?
Accepted that people aren't going to know how to pronounce my name sometimes. So.
And then, of course, that leads to your nickname, which is Telly. Do you have other nicknames? Do you like Telly?
Yeah, I don't know. They call my dad Telly, so that's kind of where it came from. My dad's the AD at my high school, so everyone calls him Telly. Kind of wore off on me, so I mean, I don't know. I kind of like it. It's easier than Tellinghusen, that's for sure.
Now, you're from Sac City, Iowa. From my internet research, I found out that Sac City, Iowa is home to the world's largest popcorn ball. So have you visited the popcorn ball?
I have visited the popcorn ball. It's the pride and joy of Sac City, So everyone's got to see the popcorn ball if they come through.
How many times have you seen it? Do you just glance at it, or do you study it, or what do you do?
It's on the main drag in Sac City, so it's kind of set up in this little building. I drive by it about every day, so.
What is your favorite part of Brookings besides Frost Arena? Everyone says it's the gym, but what's your favorite part of Brookings besides the gym?
I don't know. I just enjoy the town. I mean, it's not too big, not too small. I think it's about the perfect size for me.
Why are you number 23?
Number 23. There's only a few numbers open. My normal number's 30, but Connor had that. So I think 23, 32. They were open, but I don't know. 23 just seemed to fit me best.
Not for Jordan, not for anything like that?
No, not Jordan. Not for Jordan.
What is your favorite Scott Nagy story that you have so far? A funny story, a stupid story, anything fun involving him?
I don't know. He always tells me that, or in the post-game interviews, how sometimes he'll tell me not to shoot, but I shoot it anyways, and that's what he kind of likes about me. So I don't know.
So he likes the fact that you ignore him.
that I don't listen to him.
What is your least favorite food? Food you refuse to eat, can't stand?
I'd probably say Chinese food. I'm not a big Chinese guy. We had P.F. Chang's in Omaha. I didn't eat a whole lot of that. I had to go to the gas station after we went there, but Chinese food is probably my least favorite.
Who is the smartest teammate?
I'd have to say Keaton Moffitt. He's in pharmacy school. I mean, he gets pretty good grades, so he's a pretty smart guy.
Now that's from a school sense. From a basketball sense,
I don't know. George's pretty smart. I mean, he's been around the game pretty long, so he's a smart point guard.
And of course you're saying that because he's 10 feet away from you, isn't he?
That might be.
Who would win a three-point contest on the team?
Well, besides me, no, I'm kidding. Corey Jacobson and Anders Broman, they both can stroke it pretty well, especially in practice. So
you would say yourself?
I don't know. It'd be a good competition.
All right, that's a three-point contest. Last question, who would win a horse contest between everyone?
Horse contest. I'd have to go with probably Anders. Anders is always winning the horse competitions between teammates and stuff. So
he can throw up all the trick shots and things like that.
Yeah.
All right, retelling using your Alvazi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, coming up next, Cody Pack and the Jackrabbit Wrestlers head into their conference championships. And Zach Zenner repping the Rabbits at the NFL Combine. Some very impressive numbers from the SDSU running back, but did he leave any impressions on any NFL teams?
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by BillionAuto.com.
Welcome back to Jack Journal. The Jackrabbit wrestling team finished up its regular season on Sunday. The Jacks lost to North Dakota State 19-13 in the final home duel of the season. So the Jacks go 3-2 in their matches in the Western Wrestling Conference this year. North Dakota State, Air Force, Northern Colorado, Utah Valley, and Wyoming are the other teams in the conference, along with the Jackrabbits. SDSU senior Cody Pack has been outstanding all season. Pack is 5-0 in the conference matches after his win on Sunday. He was up a weight at 165, but he has competed at 157 pounds most of the year. Pack is 32-4 on the season, and he leads the Jacks in wins and has earned the most dual points. The Jackrabbits have the conference championships coming up on March 7th in Fargo. And then the NCAA championship starting on March 19th. SDSU had 3 national qualifiers last season, including Cody Pack and Alex Kocher, a sophomore from Wagner, South Dakota, who is at 149 pounds right now for the Jackrabbits. How about some football? Former SDSU running back, and it sounds weird to say former, going to be weird without him, Zach Zenner did himself well at the NFL Combine over the weekend. Zenner ran the 40-yard dash in 4.6 seconds. Same time as Amir Abdullah from Nebraska, faster than some guys from Alabama and LSU, but just a touch behind Melvin Gordon from Wisconsin, who ran a 4.52. Zenner's times in the cone drills and agility drills put him toward the top of all the players at his position. He looked good catching passes, too. He had 28 catches and 4 receiving touchdowns in his senior season last year. Here are the rest of Zenner's numbers from the Combine. He came in, measured 5 feet 11 inches and 223 pounds. Very good time in the 40. 25 reps in the bench press at 225 pounds. He had a 41-inch vertical leap that was 3rd best amongst all the running backs. So if there were any doubts about his athletic ability, Zenner quashed and squashed all of those. So what are his chances now of being drafted by an NFL team? Zenner's overall grade at the Combine was a 5.3. Now that supposedly makes him a prospective backup in the NFL or a special teams player. There were 40 running backs at the Combine. Only 8 of them graded out with a chance to be a starter in the NFL. Zenner's grade put him 16th out of those 40 running backs. So we will see with Zach Zenner now with the NFL draft coming up. When we come back to basketball and a look at the week ahead for the Jackrabbits. The women could finish 1st or 4th in the Summit League, depending on this weekend. And Scott Nagy still does not want to talk about tiebreaker scenarios.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by BillionAuto.com.
Back to basketball now. The Jackrabbit men play at South Dakota on Saturday. The Jacks will go into that game knowing exactly where they stand because North Dakota State plays at Oral Roberts on Friday night. If the Jacks and the Bison both win or both lose, they will have to go to a tiebreaker to determine the top seed in the Summer League tournament. So, is Scott Nagy interested in talking about the tiebreaker right now?
No, I'm not interested in that.
Not even thinking about it, right?
No, I mean, it's just, we just have one game this weekend, and we know it's big for them, and it'll be big for us.
All right, amen. We will have the SDSU-USD men's game live on Saturday following the USD women's game against Western Illinois. The men's game will tip off at about 4:30. And again, even if North Dakota State wins on Friday, the Jacks can still claim the top seed in the tournament if they beat the Coyotes, because that would be 2 wins over USD. The Yotes, remember, beat NDSU once, so head-to-head against USD would be the eventual tiebreaker. The Jackrabbit women play Western Illinois on Thursday and IUPUI on Saturday. AJ is pretty sure his team will be very focused on the task at hand.
Western Illinois is really good offensively. Ashley Luke's as good as any player in the league. They have the ability to make a lot of threes, to get out and score in transition and score, points at different positions. So it's a tough team to go against. And then IUPUI, not necessarily the offensive firepower, but one of the best defensive teams in the league. They just try and pound you inside, throw it in the post, throw it in the post. We've struggled with them lately. We lost earlier in the year, so we know our hands are going to be full. And on the other side of it too, it's senior week, which is a big week for us. We're going to say goodbye to some great players here in Frost Arena in the regular season. Some women that have been fantastic competitors, fantastic people in our program, and that's also going to bring some focus and attention to what we got to get done this week.
Well, Megan Witashik and Mariah Claren and Rachel Walters will be playing their final regular season games at Frost Arena. Injured seniors Gabby Bover and Megan Stewart will be honored as well. Coach Johnston says Stewart will be done with her playing career after this season to complete her double major in pre-med and art. Gabby Bover, though, will petition the NCAA for a 6th season of eligibility, but she will have to wait another couple of weeks to get a yes or no from the NCAA. Again, the women at home this week, the men at USD on Saturday. We'll have that game here live on Midco Sports Network. See you next week on Jackrabbit Journal.